Oh yeah, boys, it's all coming together. We got a perfect storm.
Damn hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, hustling, hustling.
Welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. And today we got ourselves a banger. It's your daily market news and analysis for April 25th. Or excuse me, 28th, 2025. I'm back from camping, and we're going to be doing a lot more of these long form videos. I'll be doing about 5 to 6 shorts per day, and I'm going to try to do one of these like 10-minute to 20-minute videos of the market analysis as well as the live streams. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification. All right, so pop quiz. We have a perfect storm, and we're going to get into that. But what I want to show you guys right now is the structure that everything, all the altcoins are forming. All the altcoins are forming right now. And what we have is your markdown, accumulation, sign of strength, back test of the prior range, move higher, back test again. And I wondered to myself, was there ever a scenario where anything structurally did that? And the answer is yes. Bitcoin did the exact same thing from 2013 through 2017. So you have your markdown, selling climax, sign of strength, back test, move higher, back test again. This time with Bitcoin, it was very violent, and you started to gruel your way out of here. And here is the end of the story. Okay. And the more interesting thing about it is, while all that is happening, Bitcoin has been working on its bottoming structure. People have been talking out of both sides of their mouth. They say that this is the worst bull market of all time. And pack it up, boys. See you in 4 years. A 4-year cycle is done. Pack it up, boys. See you in 4 years. Which is it, my friends? It's one or the other. In my opinion, if you're going to tell me that this is distribution, I agree. Structurally, this is the exact same fractal as the 2021 topping structure, which means that this is your full markdown. This is your selling climax, your secondary test, and your spring. The spring goes lower. Of course, what I'm talking about is Wyckoff accumulation, which is a bottoming structure, markdown, selling climax, secondary test, textbook goes lower than the selling climax, and spring textbook goes lower than the secondary test in phase B. That is exactly what we have. And the funnier thing about it is this fractal is the 2022 bear market into 2023. And what happened during this was the spring right here for Bitcoin. What was the spring that happened? It was FTX going to zero. And in this exact same moment, we had the exact same thing happen. FTX went to zero in 2022, November, during the spring of Wyckoff accumulation. Well, what took place? Well, during the spring of Wyckoff accumulation for Bitcoin, OM went to zero. All of that is happening while the altcoins are having the exact same structure. And in my opinion, while Bitcoin is working on Wyckoff accumulation, aka a bottoming structure, while the altcoins are well out of their bottoming structure, past their sign of strength with their move higher and their back test, which we already know that that's the exact same structure that Bitcoin had. Bitcoin dominance is finally, in my opinion, starting to show a little bit of weakness and is deep in distribution. Distribution, of course, is the opposite of accumulation. Here is the textbook for that setup. So this is accumulation, mark up, which is what we call the bull market, and distribution is a topping structure, right? So here is the textbook, what distribution looks like. And then we're going to look at Bitcoin dominance. So you have your mark up. That's what we call the bull market. That's what Bitcoin dominance has been doing for the last 2 years. Just a straight line off to Valhalla. Buying climax, up thrust, textbook goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD, textbook goes higher than the up thrust. That is what Bitcoin dominance is doing, in my opinion. Phase A, buying climax, automatic reaction, secondary test, up thrust, textbook goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD, textbook goes higher than the up thrust. This is the reverse of a spring. This is the reverse of Bitcoin or FTX going to zero. This is the reverse of the tariffs or OM going to zero. And not only is it happening all at the same time, But we're also giving, Bitcoin dominance is giving a bearish divergence. What does that mean? This is a sign of change, okay? You look for divergences to really signal a change, okay? So what this means is we have a downtrend, right? So higher low, right? Lower low, lower low. So this is now a downtrend, but the thing is, this is happening while it is rising. So that is a clear and a textbook divergence, what appears to be the UTAD. Now, for confirmation, what we need to get is a lower low, which would be about 63.62%. All right, so let's recap. Bitcoin is working on accumulation and is deep, perhaps on the sign of strength. That is the bottoming structure. While that is happening, Bitcoin dominance is working on distribution, which is a topping structure. We know we need Bitcoin dominance to fall off a cliff in order for us to get a proper altcoin run. While that is happening, most of the altcoins are showing the exact same structure as Bitcoin in 2013. Okay, so this is all the same things. Now, let's continue. While this is all happening, the DXY has broken out of a 5 years of support. Okay, now the big question is, are we going to come back up? And this is what was support is going to be resistance. If so, that would be very, very, very good, because this typically trades inversely with the stock market and with cryptocurrency. And while all that is happening, gold, again, trades inversely with crypto, and the stock market has been at the macro 2618, which is what I consider to be the parabolic level, and is at the micro 3618, which is what I consider to be maximum parabolic, and even 4236. Okay. Now, this isn't a cryptocurrency and it's not just going to fall off a cliff, but in my opinion, this is your buying climax. And I would anticipate some chop out of gold. I've already sold 30% of my gold, maybe a upthrust or even a UTAD, but ultimately I do believe that we're going to start forming our distribution, and we're again getting a divergence. Price goes higher as RSI goes lower. That is a bearish divergence. While all that is happening, the China M2 is making all-time highs. While all that is happening, the M2 is making all-time highs. So, to recap, Bitcoin's working on accumulation. Altcoins are deep in accumulation. Same structure as Bitcoin's 2013 setup. Gold, to me, is working on its buying climax. DXY has broken out of a 5-year support. All of these things are happening at the exact same time. Now, does that mean that we're going to get, is it going to be tomorrow or next week? No, not necessarily. But in my opinion, this is the macro setup that we have. And I think that the stocks, too, are working on their retracement. And you're going to start to rotate into some of the smaller caps. And that's going to be the same story for Bitcoin. Ultimately, I think that Bitcoin gets to $118,000. This is more macro analysis. Now let's do a little bit of micro analysis. If this is the sign of strength, you would anticipate a back test of the prior range at least to $88,000, and we're probably about to get a cross to the downside on the RSI. That is textbook for these. After the sign of strength, you get your back test. That is so very, very textbook. If the opportunity presents itself, I will be taking action. To play devil's advocate to this, though, Bitcoin has been very, very oversold for a long time. So the big question is, it could just break through this. I don't anticipate that to happen. But if we look at the fractal that it's been following since 2021, this would be the same moment as you were in accumulation and your big move out of accumulation. Ultimately, Silicon Valley Bank going to zero. This is what this move is right here. This back test from 25,000 back to 20,000. This was a scary moment in crypto. Ultimately, that is where we are at. If we continue to follow it, it would just be back right here, 88,000, maybe even as low as 85,000. I'm not predicting that necessarily, but that would be textbook And if the opportunity presents itself, I will be taking action. As far as XRP goes, it's been following the same fractal since 2013, or excuse me, I keep saying 2013, 2017. And the big question is, are we going to break away from this? And again, if opportunity presents itself, I've already sold 40% of my XRP at $3.33. If the opportunity presents itself and we continue to follow this fractal, that would take us back to $1. I will be adding to my spot position on XRP if that opportunity presents itself. At some point it's going to break away. I think that the entire market is working on accumulation. XRP would not be any different, and I would argue you already have your selling climax and your secondary test in phase B. The stipulation in order for XRP to be confirmed breaking out would be about $2.60. I could say that this fractal is no longer good. Ultimately, I think that XRP goes to $5 to $8. And some positive signs in the altcoins. Of course, Ethereum is going to be the leader. Whether I like Ethereum or not, it's going to be the leader of altcoins. We have finally textbook broken out of this parallel channel and are now on some micro higher lows. We got a lot of work to do for Ethereum. I don't think it's going to be just sunshine and rainbows out of here, but a little bit of life, a green, nice sight for sore eyes. But that's going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message any of you first. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.
Damn, hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy,
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, 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 hustling.